Alright, so as you saw, I made some breakfast this morning, and I didn't go to the gym. I was tired. I look really tired. I didn't put any makeup on either. We are on our way right now. We're actually pulling up.
I went to the gym.
Manny went to the gym. He left me this morning. But we're pulling up right now to the doctor because we have our anatomy scan today. I'm 20 weeks today, so we're officially halfway through this pregnancy. We just have to do what we just did one more time, and then the baby will be here, which we're actually passing even, not the show, but we're passing the hospital. Literally, that we're gonna have the baby in right now. So it's really surreal to come here because it's like, it makes it like, wow, this is actually gonna happen.
Call and check in.
Yeah, I have to call and check in. They've never told me not to do that. So.
Okay, go ahead and come in.
Okay, great. Thank you.
This is the top of your uterus.
Okay.
Your belly button's up here.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's right here. Legs. Feet. Toes. It's supposed to be a boy.
Yes.
Just a boy.
Mm-hmm. He's an active little guy, huh?
Yeah, he is. I was trying to measure his femur, but he's moving so much.
Mhm.
Come up here and measure it. There's this four-chambered heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
Looks real good.
Yeah.
This whole thing is just telling.
Okay.
He's just flipping around.
Mm-hmm.
He's done the. It's gone from being head first to being not head first.
Yeah.
And that's normal at this stage. They can
Mm-hmm.
all kind of flips. And
Yeah.
stuff. His little hands, his little fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's your due date supposed to be?
The due date? June 30th.
Okay. This is June 26th, so
Okay.
that just means he's growing good.
Good.
He weighs 13 ounces,
Okay.
so he's on his way to a pound.
Okay.
But everything I see looks really good.
Good.
There you can see some face. There's
Mhm.
their chin.
Yeah.
Now use your imagination.
Okay, so obviously we're home. Let me actually open this, maybe this will help. I'm gonna put the dishes away, but I know I look like really pretty rough today. I also need to get ready. I have another appointment later that I actually made pretty last minute. It's a dentist appointment because I have something going on. It's not, I don't think anyway, I guess I don't know this yet, but I don't think it's any kind of cavity or anything. I think it's because I grind my teeth, which I've talked about before. But anyway, obviously we had our anatomy scan today. We see two doctors. I say this every time, briefly. We see two doctors in the same office, and one of them will be the one that delivers our baby. They do it like that just so both of them know me. If I need anything, you know, I could go to either one. And when we go into labor, either one would know our situation well enough. If there was anything special that they needed to know, they would kind of be briefed on us already, you know. So there, we see both of them. One of them's the older guy, one of them's the younger guy, and both really nice. Great doctors. But the one we saw today is the one that actually, he has less like nice equipment, I guess you would say, like for the x-rays, for the sonograms, for the ultrasounds. That's the word I'm trying to think of. So he says that too, that his stuff is not super updated. So it wasn't like the most high quality ultrasound I've ever had. I mean, I think especially when you do IVF, you're used to like real nice, you know, because IVF clinics, I think, just generally have pretty nice stuff. Ours did anyway, you know, in Dallas, but anyway, it wasn't like the highest tech, but I loved it. I mean, you can still see things totally especially if you know what you're looking for. And he was moving a ton, which you can see that, of course. But our next appointment is with the other doctor, because you rotate every time. And our next one, we're actually going to get a 4D scan, which I cannot wait. So we're going to get to see like the baby's actual face and stuff, you know, like on the regular ultrasound, no matter how good of the equipment it is, like you can't really see like details like that. But with a 4D, you can actually see, like, you know, depending on their positioning and all that, you can see, you know, a little glimpse of what they look like. Obviously, probably not exactly, but a little glimpse of what their features are like and all that. So I can't wait. But the baby was super active. The doctor was saying, actually, and I don't know what all you saw, but the doctor was saying that like he was like, whoa, he's really moving, like he's really active. He was moving so much actually, which I know he moves, he's very reactive, which is normal. I'm not saying like he's like the only baby that does this, but he is very reactive, and I've known that the whole time. Like if you press, or like they obviously, when they do ultrasounds, if you've never had one like this, an abdominal ultrasound, they press pretty hard. This one, actually, this doctor doesn't press as hard as the other, but they kind of dig in there. So the baby, I mean, not like dangerously, obviously they know what they're doing, but they do press pretty good. And it's something I didn't realize because I had never had abdominal ultrasounds until the pregnancy, other than once, during transfer, they do an abdominal one to look at your bladder. But anyway, so, yeah, they press pretty good, and I know the baby can feel that, so I know that's a lot of why he was like super active, probably, is because he's being, you know, jabbed at a little bit, and he knows, and so he's just kind of responding to the feeling just like anybody would. But he was super like literally flipping around, like very active baby. I always expected him to be like that anyway. I think especially knowing that he's a boy, just in my mind he's like super active, because I feel like boys out of the womb are usually a little more active, you know? So anyway, he was moving like crazy and it was adorable. But yeah, the doctor said everything looks really good, and the baby's actually, we know our due date because of IVF. Like if you get pregnant naturally, it's never like necessarily a for sure thing, you know. It could always be that you're a week off or whatever with your calculations. And so they just kind of based on how the baby's growing and whatever, but it could be a little bit wrong. With IVF, it is pretty much certain, you know, that I am, as far along as I am, that I am 20 weeks exactly. Like it's very sure, because they know exactly when they did the transfer. But the baby was measuring, of course, again, and Mandy and I were talking about this. This is like, these are all pretty much estimates, you know, like this is not like an exact, like he is definitely this. But he was measuring a little bigger, not so big that it's a concern, but he was measuring that his due date would be June 26th instead of the 30th, which is obviously not that big of a difference. But in pregnancy, you know, every day counts, and they look at it like that, like you're 21 weeks one day, or you know what I mean, whatever. They look at it exactly like that. So he is 13 ounces according to the estimate on the ultrasound. Again, they can never tell you exactly how much your baby weighs, so that would also indicate that he was a little on the bigger side for 20 weeks. That's more like almost 22 weeks from my research. My app's telling me that he's about 10.5 ounces today. And the doctor said that he was measuring at about 13 ounces. So he's maybe a little, not big, I don't want to say bigger because I know that's not necessarily a good thing. He's not bigger, like dangerously bigger. He's just, I think, a little bit, maybe even a little ahead, and maybe that'll catch up. You know what I mean? He said it's nothing to worry about. He said it's a great thing that he's measuring like that. Just means he's growing like he should. So I asked, I'm getting out of breath too. I don't know if you guys can tell this. It's like this pregnancy. I feel so big today. I know it's not like huge, but I definitely feel, yesterday and today I feel like the biggest that I felt. Not in a bad way at all. I actually really like the way that it feels. I don't feel like big, like negative. I just feel big, like he's growing, and that makes me feel good. But anyway, I am out of breath. That's not from being big. That's just hormones, I think. But so I did ask the doctor, if you know about IVF, you know that a lot of the time you are supposed to go get an additional scan on the baby's heart with a doctor. They're an MFM doctor, so maternal fetal medicine doctor, and you know, those are usually like in bigger cities, and they're, you know, they're like really nice equipment, that kind of thing, because they're specialists, right, on like fetal medicine, probably fetal surgeries, things like that. And so anyway, I asked the doctor today, because my doctor's office, they said, like the nurses when I first went there said that I was the first patient they'd had that had done IVF, which IVF is not rare, but we live in a smaller area, and so it is a little more rare here, just because obviously there's less people. So anyway, I didn't know, not that I don't think they know anything, but I just didn't know how familiar they were with dealing with IVF patients. So I mentioned to him, because because he said the heart looked really good on the anatomy scan and all of that. He saw the 4 chambers. I could see what he was talking about. And he said that, I asked if I'm going to have to get an extra scan, because if you don't know, in IVF pregnancies, there is a slightly elevated risk of heart defects. It's not like insane, you know, or super high, but there's a slightly elevated risk. So people with IVF usually are referred to an MFM doctor to get the heart checked really thoroughly. They, again, have amazing equipment. That's what it's for. You know, it's designed to look at that kind of stuff a little bit more detailed. And I don't think anything's wrong at all, to be honest. I told Manny I'm like 99% sure, you know, that this baby's totally, the heart's fine. I don't have doubts about that. I just really don't. I think everything's fine. But I want to know for sure, and if it's something that I need to get checked, I want to. You know what I mean? If not, if he would have said, no, you don't need that, would have said, okay. But he did say, yes, that's a good idea. You should get checked. He said, I think everything's fine, looks fine, but, you know, since you're an IVF patient, it wouldn't be a bad idea for you to get checked. So we're going to go to Dallas in a couple of weeks to get that scan done. I'm honestly really excited about it. I love Dallas so much, and we used to go all the time. We were doing IVF because that's where we did it. But we haven't been in a while, so I'm really excited. And so anyway, the scan's gonna be really good too, I'm sure, because they have good equipment. So it'll be nice to see the baby again in a couple weeks. We'll get to see him an extra time, you know, beyond what maybe a lot of people would see their babies. So I'm excited about that. Manny's actually in the baby's room putting together his crib right now because the crib just came in. I'm so excited for that, you guys. Like this, his room is definitely my favorite room in the house right now, and I think it's because we've just honestly put more into it, of course, because it's our kid. But like we have, which my mom helped a lot, so I'm not gonna say like we've done all of this. My mom and dad have been really, really generous and have helped a lot with our baby's room. But we don't even have like a dresser, just because it was always just kind of like that. We don't really need a dresser, but the baby does. So it's funny because I like love his room because he's got all these things that I don't have, but I don't really need it. I mean, you know, it's really like fine because he will need, like the way his stuff will be organized will obviously be different than mine and stuff. So a dresser will really help with him. Okay. Hey guys, it is, Friday. February 12th, and I just want to jump on to make a little ending clip. So I think the last time we talked, this vlog is mainly obviously about the anatomy scan, and we talked about like we're going to be going to the specialist and everything. Nothing's wrong. We're just, you know, it's just an IVF thing that we do. But anyway, so everything's going really well and really excited, feel really blessed. But I will go ahead and wrap this up here. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, you are incredible. Jesus loves you, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.